Hello and welcome to Unacademy IAS, a one-stop destination for all the English medium civil services aspirants. 26th to 29th March, the WTO members are going to convene at Cameroon to conduct the 14th Ministerial Conference, during which multiple important issues associated with the global trade will be taken up for deliberation. At this particular deliberation, India needs to protect its interest. So let's decode the five very important issues and what is the stance of government of India under each one of them. Before I start, here is a very important announcement. Right now, the Unacademy IAS courses are available at a discounted price of 16,999. Those interested in enrolling, use the code IAS English to avail the discount. The link for which has been provided in the description below. Once you enroll, you will get access to the recorded as well as the live lectures, the reading material, the current affairs classes, prelims as well as mains test series. Do not miss out the opportunity. Click on the link provided in the description below for further details. Let me start the discussion. The first very important issue is the dispute resolution body. Under the World Trade Organization, whenever there is a dispute between the member countries regarding the trade policies of another country, they will approach a body which is called as a dispute resolution body. This is also referred to as the crown jewel of WTO. Once the dispute is registered with the dispute resolution body, the body sets up a panel which will conduct investigation and submit the report. And this is where the things will get very interesting. Once the panel will submit a report, let's assume there is the report which is against the policy of Government of India. Government of India can appeal against the findings of the report in a body under the WTO which is called as Appellate Body. Appellate Body. Now listen to me very carefully. Once India will approach appellate body, the appellate body can take up the report that has been prepared by the panel. It can uphold the findings of the panel. It can reverse the findings of the panel. But the problem right now has been that there are no members in the appellate body. According to the WTO, there are supposed to be 7 members in the appellate body, and these members are appointed for a tenure of 4 years. But please understand, the WTO functions on the concept or the principle of consensus. When you need to appoint the members in the appellate body, you require the consensus of all the trading or all the WTO member countries. USA has been opposing the appointment to the appellate body. As a result of this, from 2019, I repeat, from 2019, there are no members in the appellate body. And because there are no members in the appellate body, the whole process of dispute resolution has become defunct right now. So India has been demanding that this particular two-stage process for resolving the dispute under the WTO should be reconstituted. This is the first important issue. Second important issue, investment facilitation. In the 13th Ministerial Conference, which was conducted in 2024 at Abu Dhabi, China came up with certain proposal, that is investment facilitation mechanism or investment facilitation for development. I'll start using the short form IFD. According to this particular proposal, now the cross-border investments, in simple terms, when the FDI, foreign direct investment, will flow from one country to another country, now the mechanism will be made much more easier. The time taken for clearing the proposals will be cut down now, and this will basically make the cross-border financial flows in the form of investments or FDI much more faster, much more accessible. This was the proposal that was put forward by China in the 13th Ministerial Conference. India opposed it, and along with India, there were multiple other countries which opposed this particular proposal. But China got the backing of around 70 countries in the 13th Ministerial Conference. Now, cut to 14th Ministerial Conference. China is again going to propose the same thing, that is, introduce the investment facilitation for development. India should oppose it and India will oppose it. The reason behind this is very simple. India argues that World Trade Organization, this was the entity which was set up to focus and promote, facilitate the global trade. So the focus of WTO must be on promotion of trade rather than simply diversifying its focus into investment, into other areas, into other issues, etc. So Government of India back in 13th Ministerial Conference basically took the stance that WTO is not the right forum for all of these kind of proposals. And China basically came out with the idea that in that case, this can be a plurilateral agreement. That is, only those particular member countries which are okay with this might become part of the agreement. The Government of India stated that the WTO focuses on the idea of a consensus. It is a multilateral organization where all the members should come together to implement a particular agreement. So the same issue will be raised in the 14th Ministerial Conference as well, and India will oppose. But the problem now that India faces is there are more than 100 countries now. There are approximately 120 countries which are supporting this IFD proposal of China, especially the smaller countries which have starved, which have not received a sufficient amount of investment so far in the global market. All of them are coming together and they're supporting the China's proposal and they're criticizing Government of India for its stance. Let's wait and see what will be the outcome of deliberations at 14th Ministerial Conference. Let's move on to the third issue now. Duties on e-commerce. Very interesting topic, by the way. Back in the year 1998, the second Ministerial Conference was held. The second Ministerial Conference. And this was held in Geneva, Switzerland. And during this Ministerial Conference, there was one outcome. And the outcome was simply to ensure that there is a growth in e-commerce. That is, international trade in e-commerce should be promoted. And when I say e-commerce, it is essentially talking about transmission of electronic products, right? The services, electronic services across the globe, across the boundary. It could be, for example, software. It could be, for example, let's say the music, movies, games, etc. So electronic commerce, the promotion of this in terms of international trade was considered. And the WTO in 1998, that is the second Ministerial Conference, the agreement basically stated that to promote the e-commerce, now the customs duties will not be imposed. The member countries will not be imposing the customs duties. That is, the import duties shall not be imposed. But please understand, this is not a permanent solution. In simple terms, this is not a permanent imposition in terms of a WTO principle. The member countries, whenever they will have to meet for the Ministerial Conference, the extension of this, right, let's say moratorium, the extension regarding the relaxation of imposition of customs duties is agreed, right, in the Ministerial Conference. Now, the problem has been that post 1998, the e-commerce, the global trade in e-commerce has ballooned. According to the WTO report itself, today the e-commerce trade stands at around $5 trillion. And the Government of India simply says, because of this kind of a moratorium on not imposing customs duties on the e-commerce, Government of India annually loses more than $1 billion worth of tax revenues. So India is opposed regarding the continuation of the relaxation or the moratorium of customs duties on the e-commerce, whereas the Western countries, especially USA, is interested in the continuation of this. They want this to be implemented permanently. They want this to be installed permanently. India is opposed to this. So are many other WTO member countries. This will be one more issue that will be taken up for discussion. The fourth very important issue, public stock holding. Under the WTO, there is one agreement on agriculture. Under the agreement on agriculture, there is an imposition, maximum amount of subsidies that can be provided by the WTO member countries, that is the governments, for promotion of agriculture production. For developing countries, the limitation is maximum 10% of value of production. That is the subsidies which will distort the global trade. They can be maximum 10% of value of production for developing countries. For developed countries, it is a 5% of value of production. But please understand, India historically has not been in favor of the formula that has been used for calculation of public stock holding or the subsidies that are given by the government of India. The argument of government of India is that the developed countries provide per farmer, I repeat, per farmer, large amount of subsidies. And these limitations that were decided were way back when the global trade, global production, India's status in terms of GDP, in terms of agriculture sector were completely different. So government of India has demanded that this particular formula should be reviewed. The developed countries should have a relook at the subsidies that they provide per farmer. And whatever formula we are going to use, there has to be inflation adjustment because the prices of agriculture commodities have changed over a period of time. Right? So these are some of the very important issues that the government of India has raised in the context of public stock holding, which will come up for discussion. And moreover, please understand, in one of the earlier ministerial conferences, 9th ministerial conference, which was conducted at Bali, there was basically a solution provided, a temporary solution that was provided, that is called as a peace clause, which says if a developing country, in order to provide food security, will violate the 10%, let's say the threshold. If a developing country is going to violate, right, basically cross the 10% threshold limit, then other countries, that is the developed countries, cannot file a complaint against this particular country. But please understand, the peace clause was initially provided for 4 years. It was supposed to be a temporary mechanism. Because during that particular 4 years, the negotiations were supposed to be conducted and a permanent solution for public stock holding issue was supposed to be arrived at. This has not been done so far. So government of India simply is demanding that there should be a permanent solution for this particular issue, which will be raised again during the upcoming ministerial conference. And finally, the fifth very important issue is associated with fishing subsidies. The countries, some of them, are demanding that there should be certain restriction regarding the fishing subsidies which are to be provided or which are provided by the WTO member countries. But the government of India has taken a very strong stance in this particular case. The government of India argues that if you look at other countries, for commercial fishing activity, they provide a lot of subsidies. Whereas in case of India, the number of fishers which require assistance is higher in India. And it is individual fishers who are doing fishing activity in India compared to commercial fishing activity that is done in many other countries. So government of India has demanded that even if restrictions are imposed regarding, let's say, right, prohibiting illegal, unregulated, unreported fishing, if you want to impose restriction, then there should be certain time period that should be provided for developing countries such as India. It has demanded that 20 to 25 year duration should be provided in order to reduce the kind of limitations or reduce the subsidies in order to meet the limitations that are going to be decided under WTO. So these are the 5 most important issues that will come up for discussion in the 14th Ministerial Conference. Moreover, this Ministerial Conference is important for a simple reason. What is happening in the global market with West Asia, the global trade has been disrupted. And even before that, the kind of protectionist policies that were implemented by the American administration, that also has disrupted the global trade. But more importantly, all of these are a challenge for the World Trade Organization. It is up to the member countries in the upcoming ministerial conference to come together, to band together, and ensure that they will come out with certain solutions which will ensure that the WTO is not dead. WTO is still a relevant authority, relevant body in the global trade. What are your thoughts regarding this? Do let me know in the comment section of the video. If you have liked the discussion, do not forget to hit the like button. If you are yet to join our YouTube channel, kindly do it right now. Thank you. Have a great day.